are old, bedrock themes. I've mentioned to you in our coverage that the United States has not always perfectly upheld them. Indeed, there are many lessons in how the governments of the past have tried to deny this to some, and how some of America's best moments are when we came together, regardless of creed, color, or belief system, and actually stood for the principle that they are deserved and required for all. So yes, the man who continues to rot away in a foreign prison or detention center that the U.S. government under Trump admits he is not supposed to be in. He is not just one person who you can care about, although many of his advocates say they care about him and should. But at the broader level, what the Supreme Court is now actually getting into on an emergency weekend basis and what the protesters are talking about is this test. History is usually messy, not neat. And when you're in it, it's hard to know when the exact inflection points are coming. My job is to report to you what's happening, the evidence we have, and some context. And what I'm reporting to you is what's happening is a heck of a lot of people, from a majority of the Supreme Court, including Trump appointees, to the protesters all across the land, are coming together to say the line has been crossed, and we as a country must step up. We have a very special guest with a lot of experience in exactly those scenarios. Counselor Maya Wiley, when we're back at 9:10.
With you, and they issued that order before those justices got to write their point of view. And in those point of view, frankly, just saying, we just don't think you had the opportunity to make this decision unless it was extraordinary. And the reason that that's important is because one of the reasons we saw this out of the Supreme Court is because it was extraordinary circumstances. What they had seen was that we had an administration that said to a district court judge, order, return people, bring those planes back, give them due process. Too late. And in the case of Kilmar saying, oh, go bring him back, do what you can, Supreme Court said facilitate it. And then Donald Trump, with a noted, publicly named authoritarian leader in Bukele, President Bukele, whose prison is a notorious human rights violating prison, essentially says, yeah, you can do it. And Trump jokes about I don't know where you were born, Ari, but I was born in Syracuse, New York. That makes me a homegrown. And so the signal that this administration is sent and that people are responding to across the political spectrum is, wait. If we let you do this, we're essentially saying anybody, any president can do this. Even Joe Rogan, who said in 2028, if there's a president we don't like, maybe that president could come for us too.
Well, I don't have it on my bingo card, Maya Wiley checking Joe Rogan every day, but he's a big MAGA supporter, and it speaks to the point we raised in the report, which is the protests are widening. It's early days. The Supreme Court is not close now. It was 7-2 on this issue. And since you called for it, Maya, we will listen to a little bit of Joe Rogan, the MAGA supporter in general, disagreeing on this, the due process violations. Take a look.
The problem with things that are going in a radical direction, and then there's an overcorrection. So the overcorrection is lack of due process. The overcorrection is like round them all up, ship them to jail. Like that's like some things that you say when you're not thinking things through.
Still a charitable loss on the mistake, but the point is he's got an audience that sometimes runs tens of millions in America. And what they're hearing is markets are down, the trade war's not working, human rights, Americans' rights are in danger, and it's still early days. When you see the court acting like it did, and the protests out in the country, which show where a lot of the concern is, do you think that John Roberts is or can build not only a majority, but a durable majority above 5, what he had on the weekend was 7, to at least hold the line on those fundamentals?
Well, our expectation is he must try as the Chief Justice. And I'll just say this about Joe Rogan's last statement about it seeming like they didn't think it through. Read Project 2025. They thought it through. Look at Stephen Miller, who's the architect of this, who's even quoted in emails citing white supremacist tracts about the country becoming not white enough. I don't think there's a question about the ideology underpinning this or the intention. We saw it in executive orders. We're even about to see it come for not-for-profit organizations and coming for lawyers just for representing people and demanding they get their day in court. We just submitted a unity plaque packed out in the public as a civil rights coalition saying, we're going to make sure we are united and not allowing division because it just hurts real people. And this is why we have to refuse to be silent. But all of this are fear-inducing tactics, and it's time for the Supreme Court to recognize it has to be the guardrail.
Yeah. Maya Wiley, thank you on our special report starting the hour. Appreciate it. I mentioned the markets plunging under Trump uncertainty. We have more on that coming up. And the scandal hitting the Pentagon, where Trump has been running. Already? New calls for the defense secretary appointed by Donald Trump from Fox News, Pete Hegseth, to resign, as there are new reports of another scandal around security information and a Signal group chat.
The center of another group chat controversy reportedly used his personal phone again to disclose information about U.S. military operations in Yemen. This one reportedly included his wife, as well as his brother, and his personal lawyer, who both work for the Pentagon. Growing questions about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and his judgment. So many people in the White House who are saying, why does this keep happening?
Pentagon chief there using his personal phone to send info about military operations to Yemen. The Signal group chat totaled 13 people, including family members, with no business apparently consulting on any such war plans. The Times reports the chat had flight schedules for the F-18 Hornets targeting from Yemen. It's not clear why either would need to know about upcoming military strikes. And Hegseth sending information after Navy warned him. Be careful not to share sensitive information on unsecure communications systems. Now, last month was the first time this bombshell hit, and the first time we learned, because it was such a incompetent or chaotic operation, that he sent the group chat information by adding a journalist. A former DOJ official says there are likely more shoes to drop in short order. Bigger bombshell stories coming this week. Key Pentagon reporters have been telling sources privately. All of this calling into question not just the security protocols at one level, but whether this is the right person to be running the Pentagon at this tense time in America, and whether Donald Trump's Fox News experiment is working. We're joined by Pulitzer Prize winner from the Washington Post, Gene Robinson. Welcome, Gene.
It's great to be here.
Great to have you. It is a story that would be more comical if it were a movie or if it were both. But the scariest part is, a heck of a lot of people risk their lives in the United States. And while there is some known risk that comes externally, here the reporting is that the risk is coming from the top of the Pentagon itself that doesn't involve the president chose this person and now knows how it's going.
Right, it's like in the horror movie, the call is coming from inside the house, right? It isn't from the guy in the big office in the Pentagon. And the problem starts with step one. Pete Hegseth should never have been Secretary of Defense. He should never have been named. He should never have been confirmed. That was obvious from the very beginning, as in the qualifications that a Secretary of Defense needs to have. So we've had these two incidents of highly sensitive information. They keep saying it's not technically classified, highly sensitive information being discussed on Signal chats with just about anybody, including Jeff Goldberg, the editor of The Atlantic. But even if you put those aside, the Pentagon is one of the biggest and most notoriously bureaucracies in the world. And it takes somebody who knows his or her way around that bureaucracy just to run the Pentagon, especially to run the Pentagon at a time when there's so many issues that face our military, genuine issues, not the fake issues that Hegseth wants to talk about. So this is wrong from the very start.
Yeah, and he's gotten busted in various ways, including the whole security protocol over there where they literally just add a journalist. But most people who get a speeding ticket for going 100 know that that's not the first and only time they've ever gone 100. That's when they got caught. And so about the risk factor that he is talking to other people, including other people in ways that are dangerous. Congress has an oversight duty on that. We've had a long, years-running debate about all sorts of email and security protocols. The Journal reports that Heggs had brought his wife to sensitive meetings with foreign military officials. She's a former Fox producer. 2 meetings with foreign military counterparts where sensitive information was discussed. That would seem to be something that the intelligence agencies in the Pentagon would be enforcing. In other words, he's supposed to be one of the people in the core intel circle protecting the intelligence, and instead he's releasing it out for whatever motivation we don't know. But family members who don't have security clearances aren't supposed to get that.
No, they're not. And this is a recklessness that, in any other circumstance, would be considered criminal. I mean, people won't get prosecuted for this sort of security lapse, the excess. No one expects him to be prosecuted for this because of this administration. But the way that first chat, the one that Jeff Goldberg was on, was interesting just because there were so many other high-ranking, cabinet-level officials, including Marco Rubio and the National Security Advisor and others, on that chat, and it makes one wonder whether these officials were in the habit of using Signal, not an approved method of this sort of communication, using Signal to evade archival requirements, to evade the law about how the government's business should be recorded and preserved for history. And so I wonder about that. We've never gotten a straight answer about that. They kind of say we won't do it again, but they did it again. So who can say that it has stopped? Who can say that it's gotten any better?
Yeah, I think that's another big question, as you say, which goes to whether we have accountable government or at these high levels of the Pentagon efforts, as we were covering in a different context under the law earlier, to evade what are supposed to be non-negotiable rules, again, for everyone's public safety and national security. Gene Robinson, thank you. Appreciate it. Coming up in our news hour here, we will also report on the honor and the grieving for the renowned global figure, Pope Francis. We have that coming up. As well as next, the clash between Trump and his Fed chair over how the tariff war is failing the markets down again today.
I didn't think someone like me was at risk of shingles.
The rash couldn't possibly be that painful. And it wouldn't disrupt my life for weeks.
I was wrong. I didn't know that 99% of people over 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time.
I learned that the hard way.
But you don't have to. Talk to your healthcare provider today.
Liberty Mutual, all she talks about is the baby for protecting our own insurance.
Hey kid, it's pronounced Liberty. 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 She's mocking me. Very mature.
Hey, that's an nephew too.
Hey, I'm not the one acting like a total thief.
Used to.
Only baby. That's it for Mother's Day gifts. Like candles handmade by Carlton for $25. Personalized jewelry for $75. And custom sweatshirts under $50. For us, special is one members. Fancy handsome. It's a non-service and scam. No loan service. Unfortunately, I don't trust them very much because I don't know what they're putting down. Nobody's going to pay attention to you. It's the whole point of owning a home is that you maintain your own home.
Taking care of this lawn from day one.
Take pride in it. People tell me it looks good. It makes me feel good.
Say, look, I have you.
You know when I put down that one's got something.
Ukraine strikes. Do you question the trade-offs of treating? Uvalde is another fisherman. High-grade confidential. You can treat it anytime, anywhere. Tell your doctor all medicines you take. Don't take it for allergic reactions and VA for infects. Get help right away for allergic reactions and trouble breathing, face, mouth, tongue, and throat swelling, which may occur hours to days after. Side effects include nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Learn how Advil can help you save on your Brelby.
David takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story. Nice to meet you. My name's David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. It's effective. It's not require a prescription. And I've been taking it for quite a while myself, and I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good for me. It makes my day. Prevagen for your brain.
United Healthcare knows you've got your whole life ahead of you. It's supposed to help your mind to focus on what matters. Medicare coverage from United Healthcare.
Today you and tomorrow you aren't the same person. If you're tired of what today you do, get an accounting fundamentals certificate from WGU School of Business and get a whole new tomorrow in just 6 months. Enroll today at WGU.
Lazy Boy is proud to support Bernie's Lazy Time. After gardening all morning, he'll be planting himself on his extra comfy Lazy Boy recliner all afternoon. Lazy Boy, long live the lazy.
Plus and FedEx together for $16.99 a month.
What did you do?
Save time.
You want to fight? This is what the world is watching.
ShopConnectorExperts.com for OEM automotive connectors, wire harness repair materials.
Turning to some facts and economic news that the Trump administration would rather faded, but it's not fading. The market's volatile, slumping again. Reeling from President Trump's tariff war, which has been widely viewed as a huge avoidable problem, and Trump's choice to then attack the independent Fed chair for basically citing the known economic risks that tariff policies pose, like upping prices and inflation. Trump's attacks also stoking uncertainty on Wall Street because while the tariff war is bad enough and has cost many trillions, there is concern that he will add to those risks by picking this fight over trying to oust the Fed chair. That's something that has been legally untested, but is probably illegal under current precedent. And with that in mind, here is how another week has begun in Trump's economy.
Monday morning and the markets are down. Dow futures are by 373 points. Markets so selling these trade worries. You have the NASDAQ now down more than 3%. The threats to Fed independence are real and growing.
Uncertainty, investors don't like it, there is no trade deal to talk of, and this is what you get.
The dollar has fallen sharply since President Trump's April 2nd tariff rollout, and we're seeing extra pressure here as Trump continues the criticism of the Fed chair.
As the Fed chair, well, Powell's job is to assess evidence and run policy regardless of what politicians say. He has done that, facing this tariff turmoil, while also rebutting any Trump calls that he should quit.
Tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation. They're never going to be influenced by any political pressure.
Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No. As that great Chicagoan Ferris Bueller once noted, life moves pretty fast. The Hollywood tariff which did it work? Anyone? It did not work. We'll do what we do. Not strictly by consideration of the people. any other extraneous factors.
So Powell is staying in his post, and that post is in good hands. There's no has control of the law. Precedent is he cannot be fired over these tariff policy disagreements, only defined misconduct. Trump and his aides want to test if they can oust him. And on Wall Street, many see the clash as really drawing attention to Trump's desire to shoot a messenger instead of fixing a problem. In this case, a problem Trump created. Fox News' sister outlet, the Wall Street Journal, has wrote that problem is that Trump's tariffs are now the biggest threat to the world economy. The biggest threat? Trump's tariffs. Can't put it any more simple than that. And here is that economy. The Dow Jones down another 970 points today, or over 2%. The drop since the inauguration, when you take all the markets together, has topped $5 trillion loss for Trump's chosen tariffs. He can continue to stoke the uncertainty and attack the Fed chair if he wants. Wall Street's verdict is that will only add more pain, first to the markets, then to real people, and eventually, of course, to politics, where it is always the economy. Stupid. We'll be right back.
My mom used to tell me, if you want to be a champion, you got to be a champion in life. I got to watch her play at her highest from when I was born. From one generation to the next, we don't stop. I always wanted to know why I'm the way I am. My curiosity led me to Ancestry. It breaks down like everything genetically, what that means. It's amazing, right? It all comes full circle.
Sorry, man. Not while I read. Spruce, a new weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. Does it actually work? Visible results in 1 hour and dead weeds in 1 day. Spruce, the new, hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer.
Together, like your workplace benefits and retirement savings, tools that help you make the right investment and benefit choices so you can reach today's financial goals and look forward to a more confident future.
Oh yeah, well planned, well invested, well protected. Dry eyes still feel gritty, rough, or tired? With MIBO, voice can feel. MIBO is the only prescription dry eye drop that forms a protective layer for the #1 cause of dry eye, too much tear evaporation. For relief that's remove contact lenses before using MIBO. Wait at least 30 minutes before putting them back in. Eye redness and blurred vision may occur. That's your prescription MIBO.
Scanlon Steamer is proudly the leader in deep cleaning, cleaning over 1 million homes and businesses every year using powerful equipment custom built by us. It's not clean until it's Scanlon Steamer clean.
Ever feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine? 15 more headaches. Each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches symptoms with chronic migraine. In a survey, 91% of users wish they'd started sooner. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history. Muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Chronic migraine may still keep you from being there. Ask your doctor about Botox today. Learn how AbbVie can help you save. Self-care has never been this easy. Gummy vitamins from nature. This is recommended vitamin and supplement plan.
That's new. Join me, my friend. What are you doing? That beat up.
You mean the doctor's? Is he right?
Enjoy the intense flavor of Lavazza Dolce Vita.
That's it. This is Las Vegas.
Yes.
Power eTrade's award-winning trading app makes trading easier. With its customizable options chain, easy-to-use tools, and paper trading to help sharpen your skills, you can stay on top of the market from wherever you are. eTrade from Morgan Stanley. Power eTrade's easy-to-use tools make complex trading less complicated. Custom scans help you find new trading opportunities, while an earnings tool helps you review your trades and stay on top of the market. eTrade from Morgan Stanley.
I don't want to ding on my good cutting, so I'm using Experian to find cards with no ding decline. See these? They say no ding decline, which means if I get denied, my FICO score won't get a ding. Sounds good to me. Get the free Experian app now.
Major development growth here at home.
We are coming on the air with breaking news this morning. NBC News has just confirmed that Pope Francis has died, head of the Catholic Church, leader to more than 1 billion believers. Somber news from the Vatican, especially following Easter Sunday.
He had made his appearance during Easter Sunday, but now this news just coming in that Pope Francis has passed away at age 88.
Clearly a somber connection and overlap with the holiday of Easter. The president has ordered flags at half-staff today. He and the First Lady will attend this funeral. During his tenure as Pope, President in the Obama era, this Pope actually became the first to ever address the United States Congress.
To defend and preserve the dignity of your fellow citizens in the tireless and demanding pursuit of the common good. For this is the chief aim of building a future of freedom requires love of the common good.
Mourners were seen gathering in St. Peter's Square today to honor Pope Francis. His legacy will not be lost, said Italy's Prime Minister in a tribute. Other heads of state citing his spirit of hope and work for the poor, for peace and equality. In the Catholic Church, Pope Francis presented a bridge from the religious calling to more practical outreach across the world, and that included in the developing world. This was a Pope who rose from modest means in Argentina and was the first Jesuit in Latin American pontiff, as the New York Times notes. There were sometimes bitter clashes with the traditionalists who opposed his push for a, quote, more inclusive Roman Catholic Church. He tried to move the Church away from certain divisive issues like abortion, shift its emphasis to global problems like climate change, poverty, and migration, issues that the Pope viewed as important for all people on earth, but which others viewed as a type of political shift for the Vatican. Indeed, more so than past leaders, the Pope was hospitable to the LGBTQ+ community and efforts to elevate women and others who had been traditionally excluded from aspects of that leadership. Pope Francis was 88 years old.
It's that time of year when you can get $3,000 off at an authorized John Deere dealer.
A deer season saves months.
That's right, and it's going on now through June 2nd.
How do you know so much about this?
You see the guy in the logo? He's an old friend of mine.
Really? It's deer season, now through June 2nd.
It's Julia's birthday, so celebrate. Celebrate her love of snacks or her elegant style. Celebrate the home she gave Alfie. Gifts and say I get you. That's it. Celebrate.
Thinking
Sweet why am selling and drastic food here with no wait for his corner? Great question. Like everything, fix those lamp or with micro dump in.
Enough room for a baby.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like WealthPlan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management. If you're living with HIV, imagine being good to go with no daily HIV pills. Good to go, unscripted, good to go. With Cabanova, there's no pausing for daily HIV pills. For adults who are undetectable, Cabanova is the complete anti-HIV treatment you can get every other month. It's 2 injections from a healthcare provider, SQS 6 times a year. Don't take Cabanova allergic to its ingredients when taking certain medicines that may interact. Serious side effects include allergic reactions or rash, post-injection reactions, liver problems, and depression. And these occur again that you feel right away. Tell your doctor about your medicines or supplements that have conditions like kidney problems, mental health, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. Most common side effect is injection site reaction. With Cabanova, you're good to go. Without the HIV pills. Talk to your doctor about switching.
This one killed him too. It's all of this. Chemistry. Right now, shop spring high savings on Chimney profile lines. Sleek outside, dispense inside, and all online, wash and dry on machines. Delivering now. Irresistible value and flavor await at Fazoli's for just $3.99. Save perfectly sized portions. Your irresistible pizza, Mediterranean brand, served with our basic signature garlic bread. Big flavor, all price. For a limited time only at Fazoli's.
Model 22 hot home outdoor closet. Clean dogs, wash cars. Wow. There is so much wrong with the internet sometimes in politics, so we want to remind you there are a lot of funny people out there as well. We're talking about this trade war. Well, here is a meme, a fun image made that's by someone on the internet who wanted to make a point. Made Make America Great Again hat made in China with the prices consecutively going up thanks to Donald Trump making price wars happen all the way up to $100. That is a meme, not a real news piece of information. Here's another meme from a wrestling fan, pro-science, pro-choice, pro-wrestling. Why not? We love it. Oh, there's Jim from The Office. I have a joke about trickle-down economics, but 99% of you won't get it. Get it? And when it comes to Trump's economic problems, we have the Handmaid's Tale ladies in a meme saying this is how we live now. I voted for Trump because eggs were cheaper than food. Do you have a favorite meme? Again, it's all in good political fun. You can tell us on social media on basically any of the platforms you might choose. Tell us your favorite meme or send us one and we'll share some of them online because we like to have a laugh every day. Thanks for watching. Michael Steele is up next.
Good evening, I'm Michael Steele. Apostolicus et is vacant. Apostolic see is vacant. Vatican website announced the death.
Oh, yeah. Deciding what's for dinner every night for the rest of your life. What's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the $5 Biggie Bags and Junior Bacon Cheeseburger is available all the time. It's the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Instantly, DraftKings, these offers got me hyped for the playoffs. On the outside, I'm cool. But on the inside, I'm like,
New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and turn a $5 playoff bet into 200 instantly in bonus bets. Now this moves.
Excuse me. Play for those ultras. Well, we're kind of high level. Personally. Ice cold. What did you do?
Let's see.
CBS Tuesday on the way. Let's go.
Show coverage on TNT is presented by Airwall. Weather action here at the Garden. Let's bring in the 30. Stephanie Renner.
Hey there, thanks so much. Listen, there's been a lot of talk about this game and how can Detroit learn from that first game. Well, I spoke with Cade Cunningham this morning and I asked him about the level of intensity, the level of physicality, because it is the playoffs. He said, yes, it was intense, it was physical, but he told me he thought it was the most fun basketball that he's ever played. It was so much fun that he's so much looking forward to tonight. He understands that the crowd is going to get behind the Knicks, but he feels really confident in their ability to tweak things just a bit, and we've already seen that happen, guys.
And Stephanie, they bring in experience, but Paul Reed just missed on the layup. Chance Fox. Rebound. Given by Harris. Beasley is in along with Schroeder. Reaches the steal.
Right away, early on, he established the paint. And you see Tom Thibodeau here unhappy with that turnover. Both teams with the 31-point score, 24 have been in the paint. That's not a surprise. With the aggressive defense and the physicality, getting to the rim is a must.
Cunningham one-on-one without a note. The fade. You can't stop it. Cade Cunningham. Both teams are shooting 53%. They're 8 of 15 from the field. 17-16 Detroit. Mitchell Robinson is in for the Knicks. Hart, the fade, no good. Contested rebound for Cunningham. Down to 3:35 to play in this opening quarter. Schroeder off the rim. Rebounded by Brunson. Shot the floor. Brunson looking for the angle. Shows it. Kicks it. Near the top of the shot clock. Hartman stuck with Schroeder using the screen. Picked up by Harris. Tyler is down to 7. And Anobi makes his move. That's a tough shot. And Schroeder is there for the ball. Triggers it. Cunningham race to the rim. He finishes. Jake Cunningham is going off. In this first quarter, he's got 8.
And I like how he's taking advantage in transition. The strength to finish there. Cade Cunningham, impressive role.
Pressure off Brunson. He handles it. Drives in on Schroeder. Uses that muscle. Puts halfway down. That's sticking by Cunningham. Pistons lead by 3. Cunningham moves. Slip pass. Catch it. Puts it. Finish.
Once again, a turnover leading to an easy basket in transition. New York making a pay.
And the Knicks cut it to 1. We approach 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Harris on an island with Hart. Using his size, that turnaround is pure.
And we saw that there in game 1. Harris went off, had
25 points, 22 of them in the first half. And they lost to most of them with the big man. His best was 21 points for 12 assists. They had 68. Virginia didn't get 8 of 21. Squeezing through two defenders. What fun. Out to the Bridges, but he misses on the three ball. Cunningham taking up a little mistake. Wilkinson. Brunson, one of the best at taking charges. Able there. Cunningham in transition before the defense can get set. Uses to squeak in the touch to finish. And Brunson with the beautiful pass. A lead play. First quarter in New York.
My dad's in the NBA. No way. It's true. Stanford's got a basket, but he has it.
What is it?
Since they're not in the NBA, like, these are really big deals. Ever heard of them? Never heard of them? Never heard of them? You know, they're great.
Healthcare firms. The NBA told me the NBA trusts its health to ever work health services.
Introducing the all-new ATS. Hey Google, turn it up.
Grenade! Run!
Crafted to match your energy.
Set.
You might know me from my other job, but I'm not this one too. Here at Once Upon a Car, we chose the Capital One Insurance business card. No presets, spending limit, or purchasing power advantage to meet our business needs.
Set. Grenade!
And unlimited double miles means we earn more too. Sweet, right? And when we travel, we get access to airport lounges. This, the Capital One Venture X business card. What's in your wallet?
Set.
No, that,
Go. Run!
It's all. Yes, sir. It's all. Hey, don't forget to download the Madden Sports app for all the live Saturday analytics all throughout the world. That's right, HMPPT. We got one of them this year. That young girl's called Ready Ring, and the silver is over and red and red. You shake it up, you sit it down. Man, you got a great rehearsal for it. I'm just listening to it myself. You're right. Sure can tell. Foul was taken away from Brunson. Changes now in campaign in the game for New York. What an impact he had in game one. Page minutes. And a change for Detroit. Ron Fleming played for trying to defend Bridges. Kick it. Big jump shot. We are under a minute to play now in the first round. It's fouled by Payne. Leading out in early in transition. But look right there. I have three guys on Cade Cunningham. Every time he gets to the paint, the Knicks are sending bodies at Cade Cunningham. They have to maybe make a play in those situations. Find open players, but honestly, New York not letting them get an easy look at the rim. And that is 2 points now. That's about a small defensive effort. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by the Kia Tony Rock Next Line. Kia, the official automotive partner of the NBA. Another free throw here for Duran. He shot it at 67% during the regular season of his third year now in the NBA. Has a chance to be worse at this level. He's 21 years old. Impressive young player. He still has 80% from the free throw line. 79. Young man came. And Detroit at least 5-5. Their game won by as many as 9. And Shannon tossed it away. Thought his teammate was going to be in the area, but turnover to New York. They had 11 of them in game 1. Pistons turned it over 2 times on Saturday night. Shannon Beasley to Duran. Cunningham, Duran in the air, and Duran couldn't get it to go. It's grabbed by Robinson. 6-second difference shot clock to game clock. 13 jersey number to Payne. 24 by Schwartz. Mateo. Now to the next river tape. And I can see the difference with Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns. Both the best in offense right now. Efficient. Turnovers on 2 possessions in the world. It's an offensive rebound. Knicks can hold for one. 5.7 to go. Almost shut their big by the drive. It's just execution for the Knicks. Almost the turnover. A shot attempt and Roman's rebound. Once again, turned the ball in. Upper quarter offensively. The tips wanted from the lead. So 5 turnovers on each side. Knicks are 0 of 8 from 3-point range. Cunningham is in. Shooter ends up on the floor. It's a half court. I'm not sure what happened there. And it's number 3. It looked like Thomas had his 3, maybe tripped over Ananobi there. Tell from that angle. Oh, it's pushed in the back. Payne. Seven to go here in the first, and now Shooter is at the strike. Are they changing this call? They are. They have charged it to Payne. Number 3. Veteran Dennis Schroeder, 84% shooter, will get another. Playing on his 3rd 10 this season. Originally started the year with the Nets. experience a great fit.
Payne. Defense there from Holland. There's no call, and we end the first with the Pistons in front, 25-18. Go for the second quarter here at Madison Square Garden. First round coverage on TNT is presented by Nerdwallet.
Set.
Acceleration. Like he did before in K5.
What is it? Green 80. Good hunt. Set.
Thanks, pal. And if you want to earn Economy Plus upgrades,
Set.
I get a silver go with that. Miles on United Flight, like the one they put together. Probably have United West card.
You. And you. And you. And you. Welcome to Visible, the ultimate wireless internet. It's one line, powered with unlimited
Here we go. Here we go.
It's $5. Top tier. Also works.
Okay, break.
You got your pickle blade set. Right. Pickle blade, please. What? Lemonade? Where my pickle people at? Love that pickle papa.
Afraid. See it first Sundays at 8 on Discovery.
Let's go now. Ready?
Time now for Play with Passion, presented by Patron. Best turnaround in NBA history. Winning percentage increase. Celtics, Spurs, twice Suns, Celtics again, and the Pistons here in 24-25. During the timeout, Stephanie with Detroit head man J.B. Bickerstaff.
Thank you so much, Coach. What are you happy with in this first quarter?
Our defense was strong. I thought our defense was physical. It was disruptive, and then we did a great job on the boards. A couple breakdowns where we gave them two backdoor cuts and those types of things. But if our defense is good, it gives us an opportunity to get out and transition and run our offense. Consistency in our mindset. Understanding has to rise to match their urgency level. But again, it's going to come down to us executing our stuff at a high level. Stephanie, two offense and first misses on the rebound after that. Detroit leads at 25-18. Superstar talked about their defense. Finished by his in that first half. His seventh of the last shots. Stick
7-point lead. Schroeder takes the down. Receivers by 60 Schroeder. Smith, fade, and Towns missed it. It's in the offensive board. It's reload now with Payne. Penetrates. Floats it up. It's a quickly behind and through. And it rolls out. That's the time. John Beasley, Schroeder, Holland, and Harris. That Beasley jumper is silky smooth. 10-point lead for the Pistons. Beasley on the middle. It's right there. Can't allow Towns to back it down. It's a slow defender. The next by 8. Jalen Sparks missed that. Here's Joe Shot. Mounted out. Trailing. Beans on the bench. Cunningham for Detroit. The bench is fouled. Foul is ball. Tobias Harris. Brooks will take off the blow and check in. Right here, a little thing right there, but a great speed. Up tonight. Great sunny screens, 5-6 dribbles. Back that reminds me of time when I played for the Pistons and I'm trying to guard the late Anthony Mason who would back you down. You know, he was there at the back. Played for the Pistons many years ago. They were a team back then. Chipman doesn't go for Robinson. Foul is gone. It's smart right there. Jalen Bird comes to help from the baseline as Tobias Harris trying to guard Karl Anthony Towns, and Robinson slips in there as a smaller defender, able to draw a foul on that offensive rebound attempt. Ron Holland picks it up. Getting in from McBride. It's a non-shooting foul. Is off the rebound action. Brunson. It's a three. And I immediately shot it at 38% from downtown this season. Cuts it to a 5-point Detroit lead. Puts his head down and scores. And initiating that contact, able to free Robinson a little bit. I like the aggressive play from Tobias Harris. 32-25 Pistons. Harris now with 7 points. Robinson take the hand off to Brunson, hand it to McBride. Gets the step on Schroeder. Missed it because Duran was there. Robinson feeds it. Brunson. That's a tray. 10 points for Jalen Brunson. Schroeder, no hesitation. Got a three. Shot making on both sides. Pistons now in front 35-28. Schroeder backs down to no one. Brunson short. Harris surveys. Ahead for Beasley. Holland now. And a foul is called on the push. He said it best. Guard play at the highest level. Robinson, I love his activity, but the awareness to find Jalen Brunson when things happen. He said it best. This little matchup between Schroeder and Brunson, they went at it a little bit there in that game one. Schroeder had some good moments. As you said, unafraid. Jalen Brunson didn't waste much time coming back into the game, getting involved and getting going on the offensive end. The NBA on TNT is brought to you by New Balance and by Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food food. Robinson sits, 6 rebounds, and 9 minutes of action. The Pistons make some changes with Cunningham back in, along with Reed. Kate Cunningham, 8 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. A very busy opening quarter. Beasley stays in there.
Beasley drives, slings it up, no, but a Josh Hart back in for the Knicks.
I like that Beasley, known as a catch and shoot guy, as you said, hit a high volume of threes there, but he's guarded closely, not afraid to put the ball on the floor there. He initiated that foul, drawing that into the free throw line.
Earn badges to win prizes with the NBA ID Playoff Challenge. Members of the U.S. and Canada who complete the challenge get the chance of a trip to the NBA draft. Play now in the NBA app or on NBA.com/ID. Another free throw here for Beasley, a career year for him on a one-year, $6 million deal. He's played with Denver, Minnesota, Utah, the Lakers, Milwaukee. Experience and shooting numbers through the roof, 42% from three-point territory.
And the shooting of Beasley, bring in Hardaway Jr. as well as Tobias Harris, has really created spacing for Cade Cunningham to operate and have a stellar season.
Fade away, doesn't go for Brunson. And Detroit trying to bring this lead to double figures. Beasley can't hit the three. Green helping out on the offensive glass.
And right there, poor transition defense. Beasley wide open in the three, and then no one there to block out two guys for Detroit at the rim.
39-28. This is the largest cushion of the night for Detroit. Towns takes it at Harris. Hooks a pass to the corner. It's Bridges. Hooking.
Good possession there, New York. Drive and kick action. Get that defense to shift for the easy two.
Cunningham drains the long two-pointer. Pistons have had answers throughout this first half. Playing with a lot of poise. Body bump, Reed defending, and takes it away from Brunson. It's a 3-on-2 developing, but Bridges steps in for the steal. Bounce it, and Anunoby shovels, and throws it down. Timeout, J.B. Bickerstaff. Pistons had a break and couldn't take advantage. The interception by Bridges leads to two on the other end. First half action continues from MSG.
Excuse me, are you shopping online while standing in line?
Yeah.
Me too. I just bought a croquet set using PayPal.
Cool.
And PayPal lets me choose how I pay.
You're not going to sing again, are you?
What? No.
Very nice.
I use PayPal to buy this ticket, and I'm paying it off in 4 payments. No fees, no interest.
No, that's no interest. Me.
You can pay your own way. I'm still in here. Coming right up. Natural looking curls. You can pay your own way. Block up. I know there's nachos in the dock. What happened to your curls? Humidity. Pay in store, pay online, pay over time. Don't just pay. PayPal. Pay your own way.
You got a weird thing for PayPal, man.